Okay, Dave, you're ready to go.
Okay, thanks. So I was asked to kind of step in this morning, so please be gentle with me. So we'll try to get through this as best we can. So roll call, I'm just kind of looking at everybody's name on here. Is there anybody that you guys can see on here that we know that's not here or has had an excused absence for today? Does anybody realize of anybody? Has anybody told anybody else? I don't. It looks like most everybody's here, so that's good. So that's a good start.
I have a telephone mark and I don't know who this is.
Yeah, there's a phone number in the bottom there. I'm not quite sure who that might be that's not on video. So
it's my number. I'm not sure.
Is it you? No, so you're on there twice. You're that special. Okay, we got you. Okay, you're a little quiet to hear on that as well. So just so you know.
I'll try to turn toward that.
Oh, there you go. I sent out the minutes last night. I don't know if everybody had a chance to review them. I did send out the May minutes.
I don't think I got it.
So I hit the reply to Joe's email out. So if you don't have them, let me know. We can get those out to you.
I don't think I got it.
Okay, I'll send those out to you.
Okay.
Those that did receive it, are there any questions on the minutes or any corrections on the minutes? Hearing none, I'll go ahead and ask for a vote. I know when you do a vote by Zoom or anything else, you're supposed to individually call everybody, but I can't see most everybody. So if you want to give me a thumbs up, I will be able to tell you that that's an acceptable vote. I can take a look that way. So all in favor of the minutes, I need a motion to approve the minutes, please.
I'll move to accept the minutes.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Anybody?
I'll second.
Thanks, Rob.
Yep.
All in favor with a thumbs up, please, on the minutes from, they say March. Actually, I believe those were, was it May? Or were they May? I don't know. They say March 6th. Was that the last time we met was March? Do we know?
I think we met the last month with
Yeah,
Zoom.
it should be May 6th minutes, I believe, on the top of that. It does read March, so we will have a correction made to those minutes.
May 6th is a Wednesday, though.
Yeah, I think there was March 6th was the date, just wasn't changed. I think it was the May minutes. So we will have a correction made to the minutes just to reflect that in there. So
I think last one we met is May 1st.
Yep. So we'll have those corrected to May 1st. All in favor of the minutes submitted with a correction revision to May 1st. Thumbs up.
I'm sorry, I don't have the minute, so
Okay.
I cannot. I just absent.
All right. Anybody opposed? All right, hearing none, we'll move forward. Next on the agenda was the selection of officers for 2020, 2021. I didn't have a lot of direction on this, so I'm not quite sure if anybody had more direction on this from our current officers, if this has already been put out there, if this is something we're supposed to nominate at this point. Joe, I don't know if you've got any direction on that for us as well.
Yeah, it's pretty much open to nomination at this point because the two co-chairs with Jenny and Mary Jane are now off of the commission. Morgan is still on the commission, but she is not able to make today's meeting. But regardless, you should hold a vote to elect, probably a chair or a co-chair and a secretary for sure, because somebody's going to need to take minutes from today's meeting.
Okay. Do we have any nominations currently for a chair or co-chair of the Human Relations Commissions to take place for the next 1 year from, would that be from June until May, or would that be July to June? Probably July to June, since we're in the June meeting now currently.
Yeah, that's probably what I would say, or that's what I would say.
So term being the July 2020 meeting to the June 2021 meeting. No nominations for chair.
I have a question, Dave.
Sure, go ahead, Ellen.
Just to confirm, current members of the HRC are all present right now, or is there anybody else that we should be considered?
Morgan Hollinsworth is the only member that's not on the call that is an officer.
Okay.
Steve Knapp is the other person that's on the commission that's not here presently.
Okay.
So you have two that aren't here.
Okay, thank you. That answers my question. And then I could go right into a nomination if that was.
The floor is open, Emily.
I am going to nominate David Anderson as our leader.
I would be honored. I would love assistance. If somebody would like to co-chair with me, I would accept the nomination. If somebody would be willing to co-chair with me, just due to my work schedule, it's sometimes hard to make every single meeting, but I would love to take it on. I'd be honored. If somebody else would like to co-chair with me, I would love to hear any other nominations. If not, I will do it. If the board accepts and votes. At the same time, while we're doing that, are there any chairs for secretary, or I'm sorry, nominations for secretary? That's a big role. That would be something I would definitely need some assistance with. If we would be a chair on that, I would love to have a secretary nominated as well. You can nominate yourself as well.
Can you give more details about, you mentioned it's a big job, but I see the minutes that are there, and of course the meeting, it happened once a month, the first Friday of every month.
First Friday of every month, yeah, and basically with the secretary, it would be the meeting minutes, taking the meeting minutes and then getting the meeting minutes out prior to the next meeting the following month. So that would be from what I understand, the extent of that. Joe, anything else additional to that you could add?
Nope, that's it in the minutes.
Or like I was wondering about, keeping attendance or being the historian, when articles come in the paper, is that collected? I'm just curious about what extent the responsibilities might be.
Currently, I don't know of any, keeping a file of anything that's been in the Sentinel or anything in the BG Independent Media or anything to that effect with news. I mean, we have a lot going on right now in the local media, of course, but I don't think we keep a history or a profile of any of that stuff currently. I think it'd be cool to have some of that stuff to look back on and pass that folder from year to year. And see kind of what's been going on in our world over the years, and we could kind of document that through our organization. I think that'd be a cool piece to have, but currently it's not being done.
Okay. Maybe that's a consideration for an additional position.
Yeah.
Somebody in addition to secretary. I agree. I think that's really, a great. That collecting of that information is good to review and to see where the group has been, and it helps to inform where you want to go in the future. To have a direct history of what the group has done.
For sure. Well, it's trackable success. So.
Yeah.
No nominations for secretary currently.
Anybody?
Hearing none for secretary currently, we can take a vote on the chair. Joe, I don't know if I'm allowed to actually call for that vote since I am the one that's being nominated. So I'll refer to you for that.
Yeah, you can certainly take that vote or, you know, be the facilitator of that, David. That's fine.
Okay. Hearing one nomination for chair, are there any other nominations? Emily?
Oh, you guys are gonna get tired of me, I think. I'm so sorry, but I want to offer myself as the person that would be willing to fill the role of the secretary.
Thank you.
I'm hesitant. There's always, I mean, each one of us, I'm sure, have so much going on already in our lives, but it's a role that needs to be done, and so I'm willing to do it. So
Thank you. We will, we'll make a good team, I'm assuming. So, so now we have a nomination for secretary and a nomination for chair, those being Emily Donapesa and David Anderson. Do we have any other nominations? Hearing none, we'll place to a vote first for chair for David Anderson. All in favor of David Anderson as the new chair of the Human Relations Committees starting July 20th or July of 2020 through June 2021. Thumbs up. Well done, Ellie. I like the emoji thumb. That's awesome. Thumbs down for anybody. Excellent. That carries. For secretary, we have a nomination for Emily Donapesa. Is there any other nominations? If hearing none, I would like to place a vote for secretary for Emily Donapesa starting July 2020 through June of 2021. All in favor, thumbs up. Excellent. Any opposed on anything? Those motions carry. Congratulations, Emily. Thank you for doing that. I look forward to working with you next year. We'll move on and get into the rest of the agenda here. So Matt, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. We'll turn it over to you for the housing report.
Hey, hold on one second. Emily,
Sure, sorry, Joe.
It's okay. Emily, would you mind taking minutes for today's meeting?
I am on it.
Awesome.
I've been kind of struggling as well.
I just wrote down what happened, but other than that, I missed, you know, but I'll take care of it. Thank you. Yep.
Thank you.
All right, Matt.
well, the report on fair housing and landlord tenant complaints, we received none for the last month. The only other thing I'd like to share is that we just recently did a press release about the housing programs, encouraging individuals to apply. We've had good success with that. We've already, first day we had 10 people apply, and I think we're up to 15 now. So we're just kind of building our waiting list for the next program year. So definitely, if you know anyone that could utilize the assistance, let them know about the housing programs, being the housing repair and the homeownership assistance program. That's all I have for today. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks for the report last month too with the PowerPoint. That was nice. That was helpful for everybody to kind of see what goes on behind the scenes there. So thank you for that as well. So if you guys want a copy, I'm sure Matt would send that to you. Just reach out to him or Joe. I'm sure he could share that with you if you want to know more on the good work that they're doing over there. That would be great. So
Yep.
Matt, since we have a fairly large amount of new members, would you please just very, very briefly explain to everybody what do you do and what are some of your responsibilities?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, I'm the housing specialist here at the City of Bowling Green. So I help implement the housing programs. We administer several different programs, the main ones being the housing repair programs that are funded by the CDBG, which is the Community Development Block Grant. It's an entitlement grant that the city receives. They're all income-based programs to assist low to moderate income families. One of the other programs that we administer is down payment assistance and home ownership assistance program. It's all to help individuals looking to purchase a home here in Bowling Green achieve that goal. And then we also do education outreach regarding fair housing laws, educate people of what the rights are regarding fair housing. And we also help connect people with the appropriate agencies dealing with landlord-tenant issues as well. So that's just a real quick rundown of some of the stuff here that we do at our office here in the grants department.
Thanks, Matt. Financial report. Joe, who takes care of that?
That's me.
Excellent, thank you.
So you have not spent a whole lot of money so far this year. Annually, the commission is appropriated roughly $1,600, $1,600. Year-to-date expenses are $575, which leaves you a balance of $1,025. Typically, those expenses go towards your largest event of the year, which is the Martin Luther King event that occurs in January or February of each year. So you have $1,000 left. Most of the money that you have spent this year went towards this year's MLK event. So if you have programming or things that you want to do in the fall, you certainly have some money to do that with. I will, I guess, emphasize something that I mentioned last month, which is the city is currently reviewing our finances with some of the difficulties that we're seeing as a result of the coronavirus and the businesses shutting down. The HRC budget may be impacted. I don't know for sure, and if once a decision is made, if one is made, I will let the commission know. I wouldn't anticipate that your funds go down to zero, but it may be a slight impact. So just keep that in mind as you're moving forward.
Is our fiscal year January or is it July?
It's January. We work on a calendar year.
Thank you for that report. Mr. Mayor, the floor is yours.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's really great to see everybody. Once again, thankful for all of your service to your community. Obviously, we're living in a challenging time right now in many different aspects. Of course, we're all well aware of the COVID impact. That's affecting all of us in different ways, certainly affecting our community. But I will say once again that I'm very proud of the way our community has responded to these challenges. The city has continued to provide the services that people rely upon. Our police and fire divisions have continued to be at full strength and are responding as we expect that they will always. City is working very hard to support local businesses as best we can. There's been a lot of creative thinking in terms of different approaches, new approaches to create new opportunities for people to support the downtown businesses. We continue to be motivated to help any of our local businesses in any way that we can. So the COVID impact is an ongoing impact and will be for quite some time. We're of course all very worried about potentially what we could see in the fall in terms of a second wave. Let's pray to God that that doesn't happen. I continue to ask everybody to follow CDC guidance and safe practices, social distancing, wearing masks when appropriate. If we are doing the right things now as we continue to open businesses, open the economy, we can control locally what the impact is going to be in the fall. So let's all continue to ourselves try to do the right things, set an example, and encourage all of those that we know to do so as well. Obviously in Bowling Green, there has been a lot of discussion related to the events in Minneapolis and the very unfortunate death of George Floyd. I've tried to be very transparent in my feelings about the situation. Like many of you, like many of us in our community, I'm outraged when I see that sort of thing happen in the community. Heartbroken that members of that community continue to be exposed to that type of police brutality, and that's all you can call it, is police brutality. I will tell you that I'm extremely proud of our Bowling Green Police Division. I know that they're under a microscope, they're being scrutinized, and justifiably so. But I will say that as people continue to scrutinize our police division, they will find that many of the issues that are present in other communities and the issues that frankly allowed or enabled the situation in Minneapolis, we don't have that in Bowling Green, and I'm proud to say that. That's not to say we're perfect. Nobody's perfect. We're not perfect. We're continually looking at ourselves in terms of our policies and our procedures, our training protocols, to make certain that that sort of thing does not happen in Bowling Green. So I hope that all of you, like me, recognize that our police division is a professional group of individuals, highly trained. We have a nationally accredited police division that is continuously ongoing training procedures, training protocols, updating policies and procedures, and we should be proud of that. I also think that we are so fortunate in Bowling Green to have the police chief that we do. Tony Hetrick is an amazing leader. He's an incredible individual. I was so impressed when last Saturday afternoon, Tony, myself, and Lori Treader had an opportunity to meet with a couple of the organizers of the protests that occurred last Sunday. Tony's interactions with those gentlemen were really impressive. He joins me and you and others in our community condemning that sort of behavior on behalf of police divisions. He said it loud, he said it frequently, and he stands by that. And I know that Justin, who's representing the police division here today, feels exactly the same way. And that is a institutional attitude from top to bottom following Tony and Justin's leadership. So this is going to be an ongoing conversation. We had a great conversation with NIAT yesterday. Thank you, Emily, and your group for putting together that conversation. That's a first step. We see it as a first step. I see it as a first step. And I can tell you that I speak for Chief Hetrick when I say we, both he and I individually, City Administration, Bowling Green Police Division, is committed to continuing this discussion. And this is not just lip service. I know that I'm sincere personally when I say that I'm really interested in doing what I can do to utilize my office to help facilitate change in our community. I believe that our community can benefit from hearing the stories of the diverse members of our community, whether they're Black, brown, or whatever they might be. We need to embrace this diversity. We need to begin to understand each other. I'm committed to that process, and I know that Tony is as well. So there's going to be some opportunities that will present themselves in the very near future. This is going to be, I hope, an ongoing conversation that is not going to lose steam. Oftentimes you see something pops up and there's an initial reaction. A lot of things are said, commitments to action are taken, and then nothing happens. I hope this is not the case in this situation in Bowling Green. I hope this is a prompt for real conversation and potentially, hopefully, real change, because I really think it's important that the Bowling Green community, and it's a great community. I know that there are some in our community that don't necessarily feel the same way about our community that I do and you do perhaps. But I think Bowling Green is a terrific community. We do strive to be inclusive. We do strive to be to embrace our diversity. We'll continue to do those things, but I hope that this is going to be a wide communication or conversation within the community, and we're going to listen, and we're going to do some things that are going to make those that maybe don't feel so comfortable here. We're going to figure out ways that we can make them feel comfortable here. We want to figure out ways that we can help them understand that they can trust our police division. So that's really what I have to say. Certainly willing to answer any questions that you might have. I will encourage this group to begin thinking collectively of a role that you may play in these conversations that are going to take place. I think there is a role for you, in this conversation, an active role. So I'm going to encourage all of you, to think individually, talk amongst yourselves, and talk collectively as a group in ways that you can help facilitate conversations and help facilitate change. So thank you all again very much. I'm happy to be here, and we'll certainly answer any questions that you might have.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. We'll leave the floor open for a second if anybody wants to address the mayor with any questions or concerns. Appreciate that, Justin. We appreciate you and all your staff as well. And you guys had a lot of people around on Sunday, and we made a trip down, and it was really well run. And I think you guys did a great job of keeping everything together, and that starts at the top and goes all the way down. So thank you to all you and your team. And you can tell them that we all said that as well. So
Appreciate
it. Joe, before we go any further, I was just looking at the term expirations, and I noticed that there's some people that our terms are expired, but are they still with us? I guess was just, I wanted to find out. Ellie being one, showing that hers expired in May of 2020. We'd love to keep Ellie around. We just wanted to know what the expiration terms were, where her and Morgan both were expired. Sheila Brown, Jennifer Dever, and Kim Sockman. So I just wanted to know who was still here and who was not.
Yeah, it sounds like you're going off an old roster. I'll send an updated one to you all if you don't have one. But yes, Ellie is with us for at least one more year. If we can sweet talk her into maybe being longer, that would be definitely a preference. Morgan moved from the BGSU representative, which is a one-year appointment, to a community member appointment. So her term actually goes out through or into 2023. So the new members, or the members of the commission, currently we have Akiko, whose term expires 2021, Morgan Hollinsworth 2023, David Anderson 2021, Ellie Boyle 2021, Amy Jeffers 2023, Emily Dunapace 2023, Carol Bell 2023, Justin White 2022, Steve Knapp 2023, and Rob Spicer 2021.
Thank you.
The mayor and I talked about the BGSU representative, earlier in the spring, and with the uncertainty of BGSU's presence here in the fall, we thought it might be wise to just wait until the fall to see how everything kind of unfolds before we look to make an appointment on that, since it's a one-year term.
Thanks. No, I think that's fine. So chair reports is next on our agenda. And once again, Joe, I'm still learning the game. So chairs as in, do we have certain departments that we need chairs of? And if so, what are those? And do we currently have people in those roles?
Well, yeah, usually this is where Mary Jane or Jenny, if they had anything in particular to report to the commission that has transpired over the last month, they would have that. So really, this is your time right now as the current chair.
Okay. I have nothing to report as of current. So we'll move on to honor roll. I know there was some nominations, I believe, at the last meeting. I was trying to find some of those. I know the mayor had suggested a person, and I believe somebody else had suggested somebody, that, and I don't know where we went with that. I am looking at the minutes and they are, actually, I think Kim did send us the wrong minutes. They do say the March minutes, but I think those actually are the March minutes, not the May minutes. So I'll reach out to her and see if she has those still saved somewhere,
Well,
and get those.
one of those nominees, and actually the commission voted on, was somebody you may be familiar with. I know at least one person on this call does.
Yeah, I think so.
Was nominated to receive the honor roll at the next, I guess, time that you would want to award that.
Okay.
And with the way that we're currently operating, as in City Hall, not or limiting the public in, and then city council meetings being held virtually, I don't think it's the best time to award the honor roll. I would recommend waiting until we start having in-person council meetings like we typically do before we do that. But Bruce was the one that the commission voted on. So.
Yep. Very deserving. So.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what the honor roll is.
So the HRC has really two awards. They're both kind of called honor roll, but so the first is a quarterly honor roll that is awarded to a person or an organization that the HRC believes is demonstrating your principles and kind of your overall mission. I would recommend, if you haven't visited the HRC page, I would do that. If you would like, I can send that out to everybody, just a link, so you can just click on the link and see it and read the nomination form. But the second one, and that's the bigger one that's awarded annually, is the Martin Luther King Drum Major for Peace Award. That is a little bit larger of an award, and it's given out at the MLK event in January. But again, I'll send a link out to everybody so you have that and you can read it.
Thank you.
Yeah, past winners of that, I believe, the past mayor had won that award maybe last year.
Yep.
So it's somebody that's doing a lot for our community and leading in the right direction with the right vision of what our group is doing. So I think that's a good thing to have. So Emily, I know we had a really, really, really good web call yesterday with NIOT. Do you want to recap that from yesterday?
I'd be happy to. I agree. It was a pretty amazing event. So just for starters, Not in Our Town hosted a virtual community conversations on race and equity. And it was an outpouring from Sunday's peaceful protest, and recognizing that there was a pretty strong sentiment and about people expressing their horrific event and the murder of George Floyd and at that protest. And so Not in Our Town recognized that is really truly in line with what our mission is: stopping hate and working together. And so we were putting our heads and our hearts together to come up with a way to take advantage of that energy that was created on Sunday, but make it so that we could take the important first steps to creating lasting and sustainable change. And we believe that the way to do that is to bring people together and start with conversations and helping, to promote and foster understanding and awareness. So it was a perfect opportunity to create this event. It was very quick, and we really appreciated, we had a really wonderful group of, that agreed to be on our panel. Mayor Osbacher was one of our panel members. We put it together really quickly, so it was wonderful that those folks could participate with us. In the virtual call, the number that I saw as far as participants were 168. That was the highest number of people at one time who were in on the call. And in that platform, it's really difficult to see everybody, of course, but that little number, pretty significant, I think. It's very safe to say that those participants were a great representation of BGSU faculty, staff, and students, and also Bowling Green community members, that's exactly what we were wanting to have happen. So in the conversations, we had some questions prepared for our panel members. And by the way, panel members, I think it's important that we acknowledge them. I mentioned Mayor Osbacher, Chief Petrick could not be there. But Mayor Osbacher and Chief Petrick created a statement, and Lori Treader was there in their place. And then Mayor Osbacher was able to join us later. Actually, he was there for pretty much the whole time, which we really appreciated. We were striving to create a panel that provided representation and voices, and that we were trained in helping us to facilitate these kinds of conversations so that we can move forward, so that we can create sustainable and lasting change in the community, in our Bowling Green community. We had representation from the Wood County Sheriff's Department, BGSU's Mike Campbell, Jolie Sheffer, if you're familiar with her work on social injustice. Jennifer McCary, who is the Chief Diversity Officer at BGSU, Joe Whitehead, who's the BGSU Provost. Bill Stinson is a resident of BG and also a BGSU professor who's done work on police brutality. Trying to remember, and Anna Brown was an amazing facilitator through all of this. So I guess just to recap, which is what you asked me to do, you know, our goals, our desired outcomes for this was to bring people together, start the conversation, to foster understanding, recognizing that we had a whole diverse group of people participating, and that we could come up with some real important information to help form where we're going to go and how to move forward. So I think some really consistent threads that we heard yesterday, you know, education was one, helping educate people about racism and how it occurs and what can we do to make sure that it's not happening. And then there was also one with law enforcement. There were some sentiments expressed during yesterday's conversation of people that did feel afraid, and Mayor Osbacher mentioned that earlier. So that's definitely got to be one of our conversations. If that's their perception, then that's also their reality. So how are we going to move past that? And then the third one that came up was policy changes were another one. So I think it was an amazing event. I feel like we fulfilled our objectives for the event, but our work, we have much more work to do, and we're just getting started. But it's going to take all of us. Mike mentioned earlier, it's a call to all of us to come together. You know, I think the Peace March was a pretty significant message to the citizens of Bowling Green. People want change. And maybe for many of us, we're not sure what to do. So, but that's why, you know, collectively, getting our hearts and our heads together, we can come up with a plan. There's going to be many aspects to that, and, you know, create that lasting change. So, but it'll take all of us for sure.
Thank you, appreciate that. Yeah, I know with the peaceful protest on Sunday, that's just the start. That can't be the stop of the end of all of this. That's just a you know, a door opener for us for the education piece, like you said. So appreciate all your work on that and keeping us updated. If anybody has more questions on Not in Our Town, feel free to reach out to Emily. She's a wealth of knowledge on that. She's put a lot of time and effort into that, and we appreciate her for that. So thank you. Ellie, hopefully you're not driving and you're the passenger, but if you're driving.
Yeah, I'm the passenger.
So, any update on the Facebook page at all? You muted yourself again. There you go.
I posted some stuff from NIAT, but I'm open to any suggestions if anyone has any.
Thank you. Yeah, if you guys have any material that you need out on the Facebook page, Ellie's really good. about keeping us updated on that. She gets out the information quickly. And I know we get some traffic through that page, especially now. You know, it's going to be busy. So now's the time to really get our message out as well as much as we can. And not just now, but all the time. So I think it's important that we stay active with our community, you know, all 12 months out of the year, not just when something comes to light that we have to address. So any old bit, go ahead. Somebody.
If I send you the mayor and Chief Hetrick's statement that they released yesterday, could you post that on HRC's page?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Dave,
Yes.
I would like to suggest, you know, so I'm really involved with Not in Our Town, and I'm guessing that this group might not want me to be the one that makes the report because I'm going to be very passionate about it every single time. And it encouraged maybe one of our other members to commit to attending our meetings, and then you could be that person that makes the report in maybe 5 sentences as opposed to me being 5 minutes, so or longer. Anyway, just wanted to put that out there. I think it's important that we have somebody at the meetings, and we have had that. Kim Stockman filled that role for a while. Mary Jane did it.
Okay. Do you know when those are?
It's the first Thursday of every month.
And are those in the morning, Emily?
Yeah, I'm sorry, they're at 3 o'clock. Thursday at 3 o'clock.
So keep that in mind, anybody out there that might want to get more involved with our organization by getting involved with NIOT. We would love to have you, you know, jump in with Emily and her group as well, to kind of listen in and then report back to our group as well. You know, if you can't make it and Emily's there, we love her reports because she is passionate about it, and we get a lot of information from her when she relays that on to us. So thank you. Any old business from the last time that we need to address? Anybody have anything that they need to get out or we need to address? I don't see anything on the, we'll have to get the updated minutes from Kim. Hopefully she kept those and we'll get that out. But I don't have anything as of now at this time. I don't know if anybody else does currently. Any reports on that? New business. I don't know if we have any new business at this time since we've selected new officers. I appreciate Emily, you stepping up on that. And this is definitely a team effort. There's not really a chair to this. I really believe we're all involved in this as a group. And we need to have that, I think, that mentality to make sure that we're doing, you know, right for the commission and to make the mayor, you know, happy and let him know that we're in this 100% to make Bowling Green a better place. And I think we've got a great team. I think, you know, everybody on here cares about the community immensely. And I think that I think we've got a great group. So I'm excited to get to work with everybody for sure. So let's see what else on the agenda real quick. Next meeting, Joe, I'm going to assume we're still going to ride as digital at this point until we hear further.
Right, yep, I think that's the plan.
Okay. And the next meeting date would be?
It's September. Typically the HRC takes July and August off.
So September 4th looks like will be our next meeting at this point. As of now, we will stay as a Zoom unless we hear further that hopefully we can all be together face to face soon, I hope. I love everybody's digital face, but I'm a three-dimensional guy. So I definitely want to see everybody when I can. So anybody have any news in their organizations that they want to announce or anything going on good in their community world that they want to announce? I know we kind of opened up the floor before to try to cross, you know, do some things where, you know, if you've got something you want to announce for the good of all of us that we can help you promote or anything else like that, this is the time that I like to keep the floor open for that. If there's any, you know, activities that you're involved in or anything else that you want to help us, you know, get the word out, I think this is a good time for that as well. Pretty quiet group.
This not necessarily to have the group do anything on this, but I am one of the board members and assistant director of Brown Bag Food Project.
Oh, excellent.
So just as a kind of a in the future reference, if anybody has questions or we attack any issues with food insecurity or poverty or lack of transportation, anything like that, I'm always happy to jump in, and I have a pretty wide range of knowledge on that. So
Awesome. Thanks, Amy. I appreciate that.
and one other question. So I'm just getting the feel of what HRC does, right? I'm trying to figure this out. So do we have like an email group, or is there any communication between meetings? I mean, it's so, as things are going on in the community, especially like with what's going on right now and through Not in Our Town, and then we don't meet again until September. Is there any conversation that's happening among all of the members here so that we can continue to share information, to have, to kind of keep track of what's going on and what our role is in what's going on? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I think Joe can probably share with me everybody's emails. And I can put together something that, and I agree, since we're going to be off for a couple months, I think we need to stay in touch. If there's something going on that we all need to know about or be involved in, or happenings, or something like the peaceful protest or anything like that, that we can get the word out to our group. I think that's a great point. I think that's important, that there is some kind of communication and we all have access. It doesn't need to come from me or Emily or anybody else. If you've got something on your mind, we have our group email that, if we just start even if it's a long thread or whatever, but at least we have everybody's email in one spot. I think that's a good idea. I'm sure we could probably set up a listserv email with HRC or something, and it goes out to all of us just as, one email or whatever. And at that point, we can stay in touch with each other. And like I said, it doesn't need to come from, an individual, myself or Emily or anybody. It can come from anybody on the commission that feels that they have something that they need to share, or a question or a concern. Those are things that, I know that Joe and the mayor are always open to us, asking questions as well of them if it's something that, we may need some guidance on or direction. I think that's a great point. So.
Dave, I just wanted to mention before you adjourn, your next meeting is until September. In light of current events, if your group wants to meet, in the next couple of months, the city would be certainly happy to facilitate that meeting. Just throwing that out there. Certainly not pushing you in any direction, but I just want to make you aware that we're happy to facilitate a meeting if you care to do so. One other thing that I did want to mention, and please don't interpret this as me trying to create your agenda, steer your activities, or any of that. Just a suggestion that resonated with me during the NIOT call yesterday. One of the things that was suggested in the chat section was the importance of education in this conversation. And specifically, there was a suggestion that maybe there's groups in a group or groups in the community that could potentially pick a book that's relevant to the topic in terms of greater understanding, greater communication, and maybe organize a community event where we would come together, we would secure some books, whether library could be involved, whether the city or the human relations could be involved in purchasing some books, and let's organize, potentially a community discussion based on shared reading of a book. We'll read a book, and then we'll have a public meeting and come together and discuss, what we've read and our feelings on that thing. I thought that was a really great idea. Again, not trying to steer your activities or push you in a certain direction, but just my 10 cents worth. I think that just really made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, anything that we can do to keep the community engaged with each other, I think is a huge goal of all of ours. And so if it's through a book or if it's through anything else, any channels that we have, I think that's important. So, thank you. Any other questions, concerns, comments, complaints? Awesome. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Justin,
Yes.
second? Can I get a second?
I can second.
Thank you, Kiko. All right, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to working with all of you guys. Joe, I'll reach out to you either via email or phone in the next couple of days and get some more information that I might need. And Amy, thank you for the suggestion on the email. I think that's a great idea. And I think, that'll help us keep all of us together. And great to see everybody, and enjoy your weekend. Be safe. And well, thank you everybody again. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you.
Great day. Be
I
safe.
have a good day.
Thank you.